intro time. We are back with another Get Better video. This time we're going to be looking at Painkiller's tank play from Team Z, playing Ramattra on Lijiang Tower. So as always, we'll be looking at our 3 cornerstones of positioning, timing, and cooldown usage. With Ramattra specifically is a tank of sustainability. And so the positioning is going to be in particular importance, as well as the timing on the Nemesis form and how we're staying alive, how we're playing for our life as Ramattra, get the most out of that sustainability. This is week 7 of FACEIT League Season 8 in the NA Master Division. I do stream these matches 5 days a week. So come by, check them out, see these awesome matches happen live. But we're zooming in on one of those maps, see what we can learn from one of the best Ramattras in all of FACEIT League. Before we get into it, let's take a look at our compositions. We'll have an Emery Tracer, DPS line, and Lucio Curie. So Lucio Curie, you're not going to get a whole lot of burst healing like you would with an Honor or a BAP. You got to make sure and play around that and play around with the Suzu. The Suzu out of the Kiriko is so powerful. I'm curious to see how much Painkiller is using the Lucio speed to get around. So that's going to be another thing I'll be keeping an eye on here. You're playing into a Zarya Vendetta comp. How do you get that sustainability value when going up against such a high damage composition? So early positioning, very conservative. You don't see Painkiller trying to rush up and take middle light area, right? Painkiller immediately falls back to they know their supports are staying far back and safe because the reach of the Vendetta and the killing power of the Zarya are both such a threat. The supports cannot afford to be standing right here. The supports are standing here where Zach is right now, they're dead. So Painkiller knows that. Playing very conservatively because of that. This is very, very good positioning to where they can continue to get sustained while their supports are nice and safe. You can see even our Tracer is staying back a little bit to help protect from the Vendetta. Right at this moment, I believe Peace is on peel duty to help mark this hallway and to put damage on the Vendetta just in case they come back towards Hanbei. It's conservative positioning to help protect our supports. The bubble hit our vortex, not ideal, but it happens. They will briefly, and only briefly, turn their back on that front line to keep an eye on that Vendetta and even throw a pummel that direction. Immediately, PK turns where they have all 5 players on their screen. Now, that's a bit incidental just based on that moment, where they've got the team is all in front of him. So, I mean, it is for vision, for awareness, knowledge is power. Wonderful move here. Continues to put pressure on Zach's Vendetta. They're keeping Zach, Hero, and even Lao all in front of them. Instead of trying to just stand there and pummel Zach from this position, we're going to see Painkiller shift over here. Watch this here again. Boom, right there, just like that. Right? And then we're going to back up to this original corner that we started on, or Kiriko, to be able to stay safe and pull back if they need to. Now, while all this is happening, we've also sent our Lucio and our hit scan are up on the side. So, and the question of how much of the speed is Painkiller going to use in this map doesn't look like a whole lot. We're going to keep with the Lucio's going to be helping out on the off angle with the hit scan. As I said that, we see Cinnabar jump down and drop some speed in. So Cinnabar gets a long distance kill. Oh my God, Cinnabar, what was that shot? Hold on, let's see this again. Okay, that was just mean. We will see our flankers kind of jump down, and there's some speed given to Painkiller. And this is to see if they can get some of these exit picks. You've got Zach low, Hero also low as well. So let's see this all once again from our tank's point of view. So this is where we get the jump down. Vortex used just to help control. Don't forget to use your Vortex. That's one thing I'm trying to... I always try to get better with my Vortexes. And that was a good one there. What we were talking about earlier, where you don't want to turn your back on your opponent, kind of lost sight of Azurv here and put themselves into a nasty sight line. I mean, it's a damn good sight line here. I mean, you can see just Painkiller got a little focused on wanting to get that kill, I think, and ended up turning their back on both DPS, and that becomes a mistake. Even the best, the absolute best in the world, still make mistakes. It still happens. We're just poking We're trading. We're waiting for Peace to get in a position, and that's when we move. Painkiller is patient and waiting for their team to get set up and ready. And this is waiting for Peace to get in a position. From what we can see there in that silhouette, we're waiting for Peace to get into that hallway on that top left, and then we are going to move. And not a moment before. Perfect timing. That allows Peace to pull some aggro, and then it kind of creates a little bit of chaos as we get into using the Nemesis form. So Zach ends up falling back to try to regroup with the team, and now we've got an interesting form. So Painkiller's been very conservative with the use of this form. But once the kill on that Vendetta is so powerful. Unfortunately, you just kind of get dove on by the Soj, and that's a reset. Here, we're pushing up to the same exact corner. Just throw a vortex down and try to use your shield to block some healing, is what that was. There was, yeah, a good grab from Hero. Painkiller tries to just get the trade. Instead of, like, falling back to the grab, I mean, just kind of stays focused on the Zarya here. This is all attention on the Zarya. A lot of people, I think, are threatened by the bubbles and threatened by the damage output. But the longer Zarya stays alive in the fight, the more she's able to put out that immense amount of damage and find picks. This is just a call from the team of focus down the Zarya. Now, you end up with, I mean, just a big grab from Hero. Not much you can do about that. Painkiller doesn't try to fall back in the grab, stays focused on the Zarya. Would love to get that trade, would love to take away the ult charge, would love to take away the proton cannon charge. And that extra damage. So it would have been nice if we could have gotten that kill. But really, it's the focusing on the Zarya. Okay, this is a very aggressive attack. Nice two-piece out of winner. Maybe best hit scans in all FACEIT League. That's just so gross. We did get our minor perk pick. All right, so our choices are the Relentless form. While Nemesis form is active, eliminations extend the duration, or the one that Painkiller chose is Prolonged Barrier, which is Void's barrier's duration and size is increased by 25%. So it goes from 4 seconds to 5 seconds. And then you see the little extra size on that shield as well. Okay, we're going to go ahead and drop the Annihilation to push back in after the Sound Barrier phase. A beautiful disengage there. Wow. A couple ult invested with Sundering Blade and Sound Barrier from the opposition. We had our Kitsune Rush and the Annihilation invested here from Painkiller. So let's see this again. This is our first Annihilation invested in here. So we had the Kitsune Rush thrown in first. Again, our call is to focus the Zarya. Right, as I was talking about, just kill the Czar, kill the Czar. Deny her as much value in the fight as you can. She's killing her as quickly as you can. They drop a Sound Barrier, and even though we have a Kitsune Rush, we're not going to stubbornly stand in our Kitsune Rush. We're going to go ahead and disengage. So we're going to go ahead and back away. You still have some of the lingering effects of that Kitsu. But now you can see the shielding of the Sound Barrier has started to fade, and we're going to go ahead and hit this Annihilation and go. They're vulnerable. They've just overextended, and their Sound Barrier is now faded with a minimal value. A beautiful Vortex to help secure that kill. Nicely done. It's all about the timing for the engage, disengage, and then re-engage with the Annihilation. Okay, so the high damage ult coming right at you. And we're actually looking for the back line here. A rough spot to try to find a kill. Hard to lock it down. Really good Kitsu. I'd allow. We're taking a lot of damage trying to get back to our spot. We're going to be moving up to the same spot. Same philosophy as that first fight. But he's playing very aggressive, I believe, because of the overtime. Buying attention. Drawing aggro. So that Painkiller could get that flip. It was due to a winner override protocol, right? So this is how we're able to get that flip seemingly so easily, is that investment. But you're still down a player, so what do we do here? Okay, overclock from the Fallen to try to take this back. That'll give them the flip. focusing our Zara. We're focusing our... Nope, now we're turning on to the carry. Backing away. Hoping our teammates could hold. But we're not giving up on the Ramattra. We're going to stay with the Ramattra. Spoiler for all of Lijiang Tower. They're very aggressive. Whoa, wow. We saw such a conservative positioning on Control Center. We're seeing Painkiller run all the way up to second line in an effort just to run down a target here. It looks like all of our guns are pointed at the hit scan right now. And notice we will use everything but form until we have to. So keep an eye on our health there. So got big chunky hit. Yep. As soon as we got hit by that big chunky rail shot, that's going to be Nemesis form and block up, just to try to back up to where we were. As the aggressive ambush attack didn't quite get what we were looking for, unfortunately, on that one. The cooldown usage, you know, still very much on display there from Painkiller. But you have Azraf able to put out a lot of pressure against that big open courtyard. So with that, it feels like Team Z have dubbed Azraf as priority target number 1. Lost a player. Just pull him back and playing smart. Make sure you don't lose anybody else. Get back up to 5. Okay, shield. Just use defensively there. Try to buy some space. Getting aggressive with Nemesis on that corner. That's how bad we won in here. Okay. That'll move you up to this phase. We don't sit there. We just go right on in. Kitsune rush down. No disengage from the Kitsune rush. We know we have Nemesis, so we go ahead and push on in with no ultimate. You'd think you'd wait for your own Kitsu or maybe even your Annihilation or something. But they know they've got some low health bars here. Yeah, they knew they had Azraf 1. And they had the Fallen on the back foot, and they took advantage. So, yeah, we want this space. That's pretty stubbornly staying aggressive out for that space. And this is because Winter has an overclock, right? The timing on this is not accidental. We know we have lots of ultimates to work with, including our own Annihilation. And so Painkiller will stay stubborn on this front line here. And this buys space for Winter to set up. So we're not trying to needlessly keep the Annihilation going, right? Painkiller backs up. We'll grab the Mega as they're backing away here. You can be so tempted to try to run forward and to keep your Annihilation going. But no. Painkiller is just going to call for care, calls for help, backs away, grabs the Mega. Here comes Peace and Cinnabar. We'll loop around through Coast to help out. And then once your friends are back, right? And again, this is just you playing with your 2 friends. You know, imagine it doesn't have to be super high organized FACEIT League to make this work. You know, just playing with your 2 friends who were on point at the time. You call out, hey, need help. They come over, and then PK is able to push back in. They use the Vortex. Look at this cooldown usage. We shield first. And this is just very defensive, right? We're not trying to get cheeky and block heals or anything here. Just right in front of ourselves, protect ourselves. Then Vortex. We have not fired a single Dorito in this little re-engage. Shield first, then our Ravenous Vortex. Then go in and start layering in the damage. Taking the shots on to Zarya until we have eyes. Damage on the Kiriko presents itself, we take it. But we don't overextend. We don't run past Hero to find that. Right? Now we get grabbed, so that's been decided for you a little bit here. Painkiller wouldn't do that anyway, I don't think. We saw that try to happen earlier. Okay, so we actually chased down Azraf in that scenario. So call made onto the hit scan. And once again, we're prioritizing the hit scan. Now, the target that's easiest to kill, but still puts out an enormous amount of damage. So may not put out as much damage as, say, the tank does in this situation. Maybe not even the Data. But is the one that presents himself more opportunistic, I think, than anything. It's like Team Z kind of getting split up a little bit. Several disengaging through coast. Looks like they're going to regroup with Painkiller here at the front door. With slow walk in, focusing the tank, gets the kill in the tank immediately. See the mark onto Azra. You take shots onto the Lucio if you can. Ooh, you got the Zetto low. Might as well hit it. Yeah, huge annihilation. So there we go. We got our second annihilation here. Another thing I want to talk about, we do see the Void Surge perk being used here. So your choices are Nanite Repair, which is healing in your Vortex for 75 seconds. I mean, for 75 health per second. Or the Void Surge does an extra, 5 damage per pellet with, like a 6 extra pellets come out. So you get that little burst of damage. So we are seeing Painkiller use the Void Surge. Okay, we're looking for final fight here, so everybody will dump all their ults into this fight. Painkiller gonna, hold that space as long as they can. It's good for their hit scan. Find as much damage as they can. Oh, but their hit scan does get run down. Okay, so Vortex at the door, so that Lucio couldn't scoot in through the high ground. That was smart. Now we have a Kitsune Rush and a duplicate in play, and we're just running right at the back line. Yeah, right at the back line. Okay. Using the Nemesis form aggressively there, since we have a sound barrier to help keep us alive. Very nice. So far, Painkiller at 19-4 with 14.7k. Peace playing the Echo again here in this round. We swapped off the Tracer some point during that last round. Oh, and just a beautiful opener. Love the shield, just kind of in the middle. Just good, just general. Like, it's just another valuable tool for your team to play around. Like, it doesn't look like it's there to block anything specific so much as just, hey, just a valuable barrier for your team to get more space to work with. So we'll get Cat from that. Winner, whew. Your hit scan landing some devastating shots. We're slowly starting to push forward here. The Fallen want to move around the other direction. Oh, you've been able to create a little bit of a split. Yeah. And so you use your Vortex to hold the two in the back and then run the other direction. That was really cool. I love the call. It was a good catch of the aggression from the Fallen on that one. We don't spend any cooldowns on this approach. We're just spamming shots. We're just throwing out some poke until we're below half. Once we're below half, then we put our shield up and we use it to kind of back away a little bit. But this gives us that extra time. Now we're gonna push, throw a Vortex, and hit Nemesis form. All attention onto the Zarya. Everybody focus down the tank. There we go. Annihilation using that vein. We'll go let the rest of that run out. Nice cleanup. Deep Vortex runs in and puts their back. This is one of the few times where I think it's okay to put your back to the rest of the team, because Painkiller is very intentionally kind of body blocking, heals and everything else coming into that fight. Just getting in the sight line so they can't really see what's going on. You definitely make it harder for people to see and tell what's happening. And yep, just soaking up attention and with that armor, you betcha. Exactly. Yeah, so much armor that you can play around. Okay, we're protecting the flank here. So every time we've seen an overclock, every single overclock, we see Painkiller turn and give it attention and give it some kind of care. I mean, we was going to just put some damage on Azrith if they could, right? Not able to prevent the death from Peace, but you every time an overclock has come in from that Sojourn, from the enemy Sojourn, Painkiller has given it attention. It's given it care. You don't just ignore that. Let that Vortex you used, I think, was used to try to keep Azrith from pushing forward. Good job of Cinnabar to survive through that grav. What happened with this? Okay, attention. Again, a lot of attention on the Azrith from making sure we are not losing track of that soldier. Okay, with Hero push so far forward, a great call, great read to finish off the Zarya. Ooh. Didn't quite get the block up in time on that. All right, so we're gonna have our Kitsune Rush coming in. You gotta anticipate one on the other side, I'm sure. Ooh, wow. Continually throws these vortexes back in the back to help with Peace's dive there, right? It's Peace who's doing the bulk of the damage, and the vortex just helps to get that last little bit of damage you needed to secure the kill. It's enormous, but we're seeing Painkiller isn't just throwing the vortex to secure the one person in front of him. They're throwing the vortex back into the bulk of the squishies, which makes Peace's job, you know, whoever the flanker is, be it a Tracer, an Echo, whomever, a Genji, makes their job so much easier in going in and trying to secure those important kills onto the hit scans, onto the supports. The cooldown usage across the board here is so good. Okay, so we just have Winter following. Sometimes you might send your hit scan here to put pressure on this angle, right? But I think because of you're using an Echo to come in over the top, and you know, with the way that Painkiller is kind of able to work past that corner already, as well as may just be a Vendetta thing. You're keeping Winter just right here Main Street, just directly behind Painkiller. And there you go. You can see the big meaty shot comes through from Winter to hit Azurf, right? You saw that huge railgun lands. And Painkiller just getting max value. Now both teams have Kitsune Rush. But losing your... Oh, no. Really nice Kitsune Rush there from the Fallen. But I think Zach got behind and got a little of the displacement from the Whirlwind Dash. Okay, so final fight for the map. Everybody can dump all their ults. Once again, playing the corner, very close shield, just defensive shield on that one. Oh, we ourselves are going to go push with this Annihilation. Turn, call made to focus the Zarya with the help of the duplicate out of Peace. And we sit on this corner, wait for our shield and our vortex, and we go right back in with that duplicate grab. Enormous grab. Wow, that was cool. And that will be the map. One of the best Ramattras in all of North America. That was a good one. Remember, I do stream these matches 5 days a week, and come see Painkiller and Peace and the rest play live here on this channel. I cover both EMEA and North America. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like. Give me a comment on what heroes you'd like to see us cover, maybe even what players you would like to see covered here. Also, if you enjoyed this series, I've got more videos there somewhere. All right, so go check them out, and we'll see you next time. Okay, bye.